Let's change the pace. It's time to look at some business news. I'm joined here in the studio with France 24's Yuka Roya. Hello to you, Yuka. Just starting out then, the US labour market showing another sign of recovery, and that's according to new data out today.
The US unemployment rate dropped to 8.4% in August as the economy added 1.4 million jobs. The Labour Department's figures show it's a significant improvement from July, when the jobless rate was still above 10%, partly thanks to a surge in temporary government hires for the 2020 census. But the pace of hiring has slowed down, and the US economy still has 11.5 million fewer jobs from pre-COVID levels. The gap in unemployment rates between whites and African Americans widened for a fourth straight month. The White House chief economic advisor, though, says the new figures are very encouraging.
Well, look, I think we're in a self-sustaining recovery. Booming housing sector, booming auto sector, and in general, retailing, consumer spending very strong. I think we're in a V-shaped recovery. I think the second half is at least 20% growth. Next year can be another big blowout year.
Well, despite the improvement in the labour market, the US stock market is in a sell-off mode this Friday, with tech shares plunging again. The Dow Jones is off by about 1% and the S&P 1.5%. The tech-heavy Nasdaq is down by almost more than 2%. This week's rout, though, comes after 5 weeks of gains. European shares earlier started the day on a positive note, led by the financial sector, but main stock markets lost steam in the afternoon as Wall Street shares dropped. London and Paris closing the week down by a little less than 1%, Germany's DAX dropping more than 1.6%. Spain's CaixaBank and Bankia are in talks for an all-share merger. Caixa, based in Valencia and Barcelona, is currently Spain's number 3 bank. When combined with Madrid-based Bankia, the group would become the biggest lender in Spain, holding about a quarter of assets, deposits and loans in the country. If it goes through, the deal would mark the first major bank merger in Spain, one of Europe's hardest hit countries by the coronavirus pandemic. Now, staying in Europe, construction work on the high-speed 2 rail link, the biggest infrastructure project in Europe, has begun. HS2 will significantly reduce journey time, with trains reaching top speeds of 360 kilometers per hour, and has been built as a way to reduce the dominance of the south of England. More than 20,000 construction jobs have been promised, but the plan has been highly controversial, both due to skyrocketing costs and potential impact on the environment. James Wilson takes a closer look.
After 11 years of planning and controversy, building for high-speed rail 2 has finally started. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson was once said to be sceptical of the project, but on a site visit on Friday, he hailed it as an important piece of infrastructure that will reduce the nation's carbon footprint.
Transport connectivity is at the heart of the build back better, build back faster and build back greener recovery, because don't forget that HS2, whatever people say about it, and I know environmentalists have their points, but HS2 is going to be a significantly greener way to travel.
For supporters of HS2, the benefits are clear. In the past 2 decades, the number of journeys made by train in Britain has nearly doubled, meaning the existing network is overcrowded. A new high-speed network will shrink journey times between major cities and free up space on local services. But opponents say the project's eye-watering price tag means it should have been abandoned long ago. Originally, it was only going to cost taxpayers €34 billion. Now costs have ballooned to €120 billion, mostly because of the complexity of the project. HS2 will also run through some of England's most picturesque landscapes, and environmentalists were horrified to learn that ancient woodland would have to be felled to make way for the line.
Tomorrow, these are people who have been protesting something that is going to cause a scar right across the belly of this land.
HS2 is the biggest expansion of the railways in Britain since the Victorian era, and the first phase linking Birmingham to London is due to be finished by 2031, after which a further 9 years of work is planned, extending the line to Manchester and Leeds.
Britain's Virgin Atlantic has cut 1,150 more jobs, in addition to more than 3,500 job cuts announced in May. The latest decision comes 2 days after a British High Court cleared a €1.3 billion rescue plan for the airline company. The carrier had already decided to close its base at London Gatwick Airport. Virgin Atlantic says it doesn't expect flight volumes to return to pre-crisis levels before 2023. And that's it for business for now.
All right, Yuka, as you say, airlines, one of the many industries hit so badly by the
pandemic.
coronavirus pandemic. A tough road ahead. Thank you for the roundup of our business.